Welcome to my kitchen. Armageddon Cooking. Well, hello. Thanks for joining me. Okay, we're set up, we're safe. I'm hungry, Armageddon Cooking. Today we're doing Thai chili mango chicken. Get the recipe at the end of the show. Wow, look at this. You need a pound of chicken to start with, okay? Get a pound of chicken, you're gonna need some rice. We're gonna go over all the ingredients with you. I've got some water boiling here, okay? For some basmati rice, 2-to-1 ratio always, no matter how much rice you make. All right, let's get going. It's boiling, our water's boiling, so we're gonna put that into our rice, add it in. Fantastic. My rice is boiling. We're gonna it's basmati rice, so it's gonna go for about 10 to 12 minutes. And that flame is perfect. Now we've got a pound of chicken and we're gonna chop that up, cut that up into nice little squares. And we're gonna put that in a bowl. And into the bowl, after we're gonna add some cornstarch, some sesame oil, as well as some soy sauce and mix that through. Again, I'm using chicken breast. The breast of one chicken. All right, so into our chopped chicken, you want to add 1 tablespoon of cornstarch, and then we're going to add a tablespoon of soy sauce, half a tablespoon of sesame oil. And then we're going to mix that through. And then you let this stand for about 10 minutes, mixing it through really well. And this will get added into the stir fry. We're going to set that aside for 10 minutes. Okay, the rice is coming along nicely. You want to check that once in a while. Still a few minutes to go on the rice, okay? It's on low heat. I'm going to cover that back up and let that rest. Now, part 2, 1 red onion. Now this thing is massive. I'm not going to use the whole thing, probably 3/4 of it. Some fresh ginger, 1 tablespoon of that. You can be generous with yourself on this as well, okay? So let's start with that. So we're going to do some slices down the side, right down the middle. At the bottom, working through, don't cut, more or less push. And then 3/4 of the way up, careful, just pushing in, and this should splice down to some nice, tiny, succulent sizes. Look at that. And actually that's plenty. I'm going to just put this one aside. And then the ginger, we want to take a nice chunk and peeling just the outside. And then we're going to grate that up into about a tablespoon or 2 worth of freshly ground ginger. Okay, here we go. Now we're going to grate this and be generous. And then we're going to check our rice. And yep, that's about right, about a tablespoon or 2. Now we're going to fire up the other burner. There we go, perfect. Now we're going to add some canola oil to our wok. You want your wok really hot. Add a bit of oil to the pan, about a tablespoon. And again, we want to get that really searing hot. And we're going to let the onions go until they're translucent. A minute or 2. Into that, we're going to put some sugar snap peas. Now these things can be replaced if you want with snow peas, but these are really sweet. It's a beautiful taste to them. My rice, by the way, I soaked for about half an hour before boiling it. That's your best bet. Give these a turn. Probably a couple of minutes for your onions and ginger. And then these are going to get tossed into this mixture in a minute. Okay, so we're going to add our snap peas into this now. Because you always want a bit of a crunch in your vegetable. Now, what are we going to do? We're going to empty this. Watch this, right in here. Adding a little more oil right away. Adding the chicken. That's searing hot. You don't add too much in one shot. You want it to cook well. So the chicken, you want to make sure that all of the chicken is hitting some surface of the wok. And really you don't need more than 2 or 3 minutes, especially if it's been cut smaller like this. Look at that. Look at that beautiful chicken. Wonderful. Oh, so I'm going to simply score down the side of the mango on each side of the pit. It's a very thin pit. You can see how thin that is. Okay, so that's where the pit is. We'll get to that in a second. And then we simply go inside and lightly score it. Not very hard, okay? Otherwise you're going to be scoring your fingers as well. Okay, just little squares like that. And then what we're going to do is literally invert this inside out. And you can push these off with your thumb, right? Like this. I like to use my thumb because I like to feel nice soaking wet soggy mango juice all over my fingers. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to add our onions, ginger, and sugar snap peas to the mix. It's hitting on low, mix that through. And now we're going to add our mango, simply pushing it in right off the peel. And we're going to let this go for a minute. All right, time to serve. Our chili mango chicken basmati rice is done. Lay down a nice, and then our chicken, onions, sweet snap peas, mango, and ginger. Some ground pepper on top. And bon appetit. Thanks for joining me today. Another edition of Armageddon Cooking. We're Armageddon Cooking. Hopefully you're getting cooking. Try this recipe, it's fantastic. Listen, I gotta get going. Join me next week in some place or other. I have no idea where I'm gonna be.